I recommend the CELTA strongly to anybody who is interested in teaching English as a foreign language. There isn't really any other course that I can think of that has this kind of recognition worldwide.
I looked into different programs and I found that the CELTA is not only the highest qualified and most well respected, but it also has all these different elements that the other courses don't necessarily have.
CELTA is absolutely one-of-a-kind course. It provides a kind of very hands-on practical training.
It just seemed that if I was going to do a teaching program like this, I would need to be in the classroom actually having people to teach and having other people to work with and not just at home by myself.
I decided on the CELTA because I knew a couple of people who were teaching abroad and they were saying how more schools are looking for certifications.
Look at the job listings. What are they asking for? They want the CELTA, so it's really a good investment if it's something you plan to do.
What better way to explore language and make a living at the same time than to also teach English to foreign language learners.
The CELTA course, if you're doing it on a full-time basis, which most people do, is very intensive. So it's a lot of work, but it's really worthwhile.
The trainers are phenomenal and designed by people who are in the field. They've been in the field for many years. They know what they're doing.
They spend a lot of time working with us, giving us feedback, and they really make sure that you're comfortable, even whether this is your first time or your 20th time teaching.
So in the morning, I have input sessions with our instructors, and that's when we're learning the methods of teaching.
One thing about the CELTA program that's very unique, I think, is the teachers model what they're teaching.
So whenever they do an input session, they use the same techniques that they want us to use in the class.
There's a lot of learning that happens that you're not even 100% aware of. You're just observing the teaching happen and hopefully taking away something from it.
The input sessions are important because they set everything up, but it's actually the teaching practice is the bit where I think the learning really kind of takes place.
The lessons in the morning and then you're teaching in the afternoon, and that forces you to incorporate everything that you learn in the morning right away into your teaching practices.
There is definitely a benefit from learning it and being able to implement, the particular technique or activity within the next couple of days.
You really grasp the material in a much deeper and more profound way than you would if you just were taking it in and not having to use it immediately.
It's a great opportunity. I don't know how else I could get a chance to practice teaching, because that's what this is. We're getting opportunities to practice teaching.
We actually teach real students from all over the world.
We got students from Turkey, we got students from Japan, or like Kazakhstan.
Morocco, Japan, China, all these places in the Middle East.
There's nothing quite like teaching multinational classes.
And the more diverse, the better, because the less shared first language, the better the classroom experience is, because they all have to use English to communicate.
When we're not teaching, we're observing the other teachers, which I found really helpful for myself, just seeing what they do well and how can I incorporate that.
It's more than just teaching, getting to learn about myself in the process and working with others and working with tutors and hearing their experiences, and it's just this very dynamic program.
I've learned so much through this course, and I feel really prepared to go and teach in a language school this fall.
If you have a CELTA, schools everywhere in the world are aware of what that means. They know what you've been through, they know what you can do.
I think this CELTA certification is a passport. I've talked to several of my friends who are doing this professionally, and the ones with the CELTAs, their application goes to the top of the pile every single time.
When you get the CELTA, you're immediately faced with all of these options, so many places around the world.
Eventually, I would like to go back to the Middle East and teach in a language school over there.
I'd love to go to Morocco. I'd love to do some things in North Africa. I know there's lots of opportunity there.
As long as Patrick and I, my husband and I, pass this course, we are hired to teach in Stavropol, Russia.
I'm hoping CELTA will help me get a job teaching in China so I can continue learning about the culture there.
Taiwan helped with getting the CELTA that I'll teach English in Taiwan.
And I'm hoping to explore long-term career options in language and teaching language. This is a wonderful start. For 4 weeks, it's a great crash course on how to teach.